We are scheduled to start in about 5 minutes. So until then, gonna enjoy my coffee on the porch in the pines. This is one of my happy places. I'm up at my parents' property in the Sierras, and there's a few cars going by. I mean, it is 9 o'clock in the morning. But mostly there's birds and squirrels and what else. So if you'd like to sit and have a sip with me for the next few minutes, that would be lovely. And then we will get started at 9 o'clock and go from there. So enjoy the quiet. The relative quiet, I should say. And if you're watching this on a replay, you can fast forward to the 5 minute point if you don't have time to sit and sip. It's fun to watch the birds and the squirrels play. All right, let's get our camera set a little better here. And good morning or good afternoon. One of the interesting things about doing YouTube lives is you never know who's going to show up. You never know uh, what's going to be the vibe. And it's interesting because if I look at the replays on lives, that seems to be where QL Crew gets a lot of engagement. And I think that's because, it's 9 o'clock on the West Coast, it's noon on the East Coast, it's a Saturday. We all have busy lives. And, as much as I'm up here in this gorgeous, peaceful place, I'm up here because of unplanned busyness. My family has decided to sell my grandparents' property, which is the right decision, practically and financially, hard decision emotionally. And so I came up really to help do some work on the property and also to take cuttings from some of the plants. That property was very much a part of my growing up. So in our QL Crew check-in this week, I do a check-in with the original members, helping to keep them on pace. We were chatting about how QL Crew fits in daily life, and especially when daily life gets upended. The folks in the original crew are going through it right now. I think we're all going through it. I think we're always all going through it. It ebbs and flows. We've got folks dealing with job loss or facing potential job loss. Everybody's in QL Crew because of health challenges that we all have that are ebbing and flowing. And that's why we're in QL Crew, right? Is to take as much control over those as we can. And we were all chatting about how do we take the habits that we've built here with us wherever we go. And I've been on the road now. What is today? Today is the 13th. So I've been on the road for 10 days. And I bring QL Crew with me. How do I do that? In my luggage, I have this little tiny pouch. It's actually smaller than this coffee cup. And in it, I have one of those fabric bands that you've seen me use in some of the Instagram posts where I'm doing random workouts. Next week, I'll be posting one of the ones that I did while I was packing for this trip. It's actually kind of funny. And then I also have one of the elastic bands that I use mostly for physical therapy. I'm sort of always doing some sort of physical therapy. I was an athlete in my youth, and decades old injuries kind of tend to remind you that you were an athlete in your youth. And then I have a rubber band in there to do the hand therapies that I do, trying to stave off the arthritis that is hereditary in my family. And that's the simplest part of bringing QL Crew with me, is taking the materials, the supplies that I need to be able to get in my physical therapy, get in my workouts, and really take care of myself. But what else, right? Staying in hotels, especially in places where you can't get out and really hoof it, I will walk staircases, up and down and up and down and up and down, and get in cardio that way. Sometimes there's a decent gym, sometimes there's not. I find that I really like my home gym and my gym in a bag that I carry with me, more than I like public gyms, but that's just me. And then whenever I can, I get out and walk where I am. Did a gorgeous hike last weekend at Nassim Marks Forest in the Monterey coast of California. Met a dear friend, went with hubby, and we had a great day. So it's building in time for physicality, but then it's also trying to build in the healthy eating habits when we're on the road. Sometimes that's hard. Sometimes you intentionally spoil yourselves. Yesterday, we worked most of the morning at my grandparents' property. I have the bruises to show it. And yesterday evening, I treated myself to ice cream and a cookie. And I don't usually do both of those. And when I do them small. I didn't do them small yesterday. Um, and that's okay, right? That was sort of reward for hard work. It was a treat, and I had that ice cream and cookie with my parents, which is even more of a treat, right? But how do we maintain our habits? Really, truly maintain our habits. I mean, ice cream and a cookie is not maintaining my habits. How do we maintain our habits on the road? And it really is about paying attention to what's available. After that hike, we stopped in at a barbecue restaurant, and man, they had great food. They also had really good blues. The place was called, was it Aptos Street Barbecue? I think that's right. Anyway, uh, they had, great sandwiches. They had big old huge barbecue plates. I ordered their salad with some barbecue on top. So I got my greens, I got my protein. Yes, I got more saturated fats in the barbecue than I normally eat on a regular day, but that's okay. I balanced it out by eating leaner at other times. And I think that's the point, right? Is that we try to balance it out, um, and choosing what works for us. What works for me is a lot of times I travel with some of the items that help keep me on track. Um, like I packed a little bag of the sunflower and pumpkin seeds that I add to yogurts or put on top of an avocado. I also traveled. I took an empty spice jar that I had and filled that with the flax meal, chia seeds, and what's the other one? Not wheat bran, oat bran that I also add to yogurt. And then, I travel with uh, baby carrots and apples and nuts, things that help me stay on track. And yes, I fully enjoy, um, you know, we went to a cover band concert. It was a birthday gift for hubby. And right around the corner from the concert venue, there was a British pub, Crown and something, I don't remember, in Monterey. And oh my gosh, they had incredible fish and chips. So, yeah, you eat and you enjoy on vacation, and you walk as much as you can to balance out the extra that you eat. And that's how we like to explore, is by walking. We did a day in Cabrillo. Is that the place? Capitola. Sorry, not Cabrillo. Capitola. We did a day in Capitola, just walking around everywhere. Found an incredible little shop there um, that actually graduates 94% of their residents, of their interns, and their interns are all people that are experiencing houselessness. And so it was called the Houseless Garden or Homeless Garden. So discovered that, walked around all over Capitola, had a delicious veggie omelet for breakfast that day, um, with some really tasty coffee. And so, yeah, it really, really is about balance. And balance is harder on the road. It's harder when you're with others too, who maybe eat differently than you do. Had dinner with friends, and um, really rich, delicious food. And I looked at the menu and ordered something that was less rich than some of the other menu items. And again, it's all about choices, right? And it's about choices enjoying the vacation, up here again now with my parents doing some work and, getting in the kitchen with mom and helping out and making all kinds of lovely foods. Uh, and then, I spent an evening hanging out with my brother and we made a dish that my grandfather used to make. Gosh, that was great. It was fun to get in the kitchen and cook together with him. So, yeah. This trip isn't like my business trips. When I'm on business trips, it's a little bit different. Um, when I'm on business trips, I will a lot of times plan ahead which restaurants I can eat at. I do have some food sensitivities, so I will research an area and find out who's got the farm to table uh, type menus because those help me. And a lot of times, if I know I'm going to be with a big group, I'll go ahead and make the reservation. And then again, I travel with small things, and then I usually hit a market when I get into town and I purchase lunch and breakfast items that can the breakfast items that I can have in my bag or in my hotel room, and then the lunch items that I can have in my bag. And that's how I get along there. And again, like I said, in the hotel room or Airbnb, if that happens to be what I'm staying in, I look for Airbnb don't always have stairs, but in hotel rooms, hotels, you almost always have stairs. And I'll get my cardio in that way. I also get a lot of cardio walking around and exploring the city that I'm in. If I have the luxury of that time when I'm traveling business travel, I don't always have that time luxury. And then what else? Before I leave on my trip, I typically do my upper body workout because it's the hardest one to do on the road. That's the one where I use dumbbells, hand weights, and whatnot. And so I usually will do that one before I leave. And that way I can do core, functional fitness, and leg workouts all while I am on the road. Because those I can do in a hotel room very easily. And again, you've seen me do some of those on Instagram. And if you want to know any of them, hit me up, DM me, and I'll share some of what I do. There's also somebody on Instagram that I follow, Coach John Knoll, and it's spelled, I may be pronouncing it wrong. It's spelled like Noel, like First Noel, the Christmas Carol, First Noel. Coach John Knoll or Noel. Sorry, Coach John, if I'm saying it wrong. But I follow him and I recommend his stuff to QL Crew for a number of reasons. One, he is a trainer, so he has certifications that I don't have. And he's great about, ooh, the sun's going to peek over. It's going to hit me in the eyes in a minute. He is great about showing different alternatives for exercises. So he will show you how to do like a skier, for example. And I'm not going to show you that here because I would knock the laptop over. This is not exactly a perfect setup for recording. It's a perfect setup for sipping coffee on a porch in the pines. But he will show you, for example, how to do a skier, which is a standing movement, and it works your legs and your butt. And if you get your arms into it, it'll work your shoulders as well. And then he'll show you how to do a seated skier where you're sitting in a chair and you're building up to that ability of using all of the muscles, right? So I follow him a lot. But yeah, when I get ready to go on the road, I think about, okay, how many days am I gone? Which days do I know I'm going to be able to get some walking and exploration in versus which days can I do core or which days can I do legs or which days can I do functional fitness? And if I'm on the road long enough that I need to get my arms workout in, um, I don't have one sitting with me. I actually have an open glass of water, so can't really demonstrate with this. I could, but I'd end up wearing it. Um, if you fill your water bottle, it'll weigh a pound or a pound and a half. Um, and you can do curls, you can do shoulder exercises, right? You can do a lot of things with a pound and just do more reps. You also can deadlift your suitcase, which I have been known to do. So, yeah, we really are working in QL Crew on taking our habits with us, especially because we're getting into summertime. Everybody has trips or business trips or family rolling in, and that tends to disrupt routines. And so you have to adapt your routines. One of the other things that I wanted to chat about today is a update to the QL Crew lessons. Woo, sunshine. Let's see if I can move a little bit here without getting shot in the eye and without dumping the laptop. Sorry, this isn't going to sound good. It's going to scrape on the porch. Sorry. If I just give myself a couple inches. Ooh, don't fall over. All right, let me scooch. Okay, I think that'll work for the next 10 minutes. Maybe. What was I saying? Making some updates to the QL Crew lessons. If you've looked at Unit 1, I think it's Unit 1, Lesson 2 or 3, I talk about how you can follow the pace that the original QL Crew followed. And, I'm all about feedback and adaptation. And what I have learned in watching, how many times videos are getting viewed, what I'm learning is that that's too much curriculum for self-paced. And so you can basically ignore that segment of that video. I looked at, could I cut it out? And you can't edit once you've posted on YouTube. So, and I could replace it with a redone video. But then the analytics start over, and I actually use those analytics to track people's progress through the lessons, so I know when to drop the next lesson. So what I think I'm going to do is I am cherry picking the most impactful lessons from the remainder of the content, and I'll put those out between now and October. And then in November, we have our retreat. I do need to know if you are planning to come to Southern California for the retreat. That is November 6th, 7th, and 8th, because I'm booking that now. So if you're planning on coming, reach out, let me know. Because I want to make sure I accommodate everybody and have enough space for everybody. So if you're coming to Southern California for a retreat, November 6th, 7th, and 8th, reach out, let me know, so that I can plan the right numbers and plan activities accordingly. And so, yeah, slight change to the lessons, not anything you need to do differently. Just reiterating that QL Crew is self-paced, and you can do the lessons in whatever pace works for you. Everybody is at different stages of life, has different responsibilities. And, we want to make sure that this fits for everyone. The other thing that I wanted to share today, I wanted to reiterate the Good Girl Unlearning book by Tamala Lyons. That one is making its way around QL Crew. We're reading it, sharing it. That one helps a lot with recognizing some of the cultural and familial patterns that can get in the way of our focus on our own quality longevity. And quite honestly, if we are going to help our loved ones achieve quality longevity, we got to be around for that. And letting it slide doesn't keep us around for that. So that's a good book. Again, Good Girl Unlearning by Tamala Lyons. It's spelled Lyons. And then the other one that I read was The Art of a Solo Retreat by a car going by Kyle and Eli, and I cannot remember their last names for the life of me. And I didn't pack the book to bring up and show because, I had too many other things to bring up the hill. But there's a link to it in Instagram, and I think I put a link to it in the, what do they call it? The show notes for this live. If you're missing it, just DM me and I'll get it to you. And I did a mini solo retreat. It's not something that, you need to book a trip to Tahiti for. Although if you can book a trip to Tahiti, why not? I literally took a couple of hours of quiet and a journal and the prompts that they use in the reset, RESET method that the book teaches, and really anchored in on what matters most to me. And that's quality time. It's quality time. It's sitting on the porch in the pines, cul-de-sac cocktails with neighbors. It's happy hour on the patio with my hubby. It's flying across the country to spend time with my daughter and with my sisters, and stopping in and having dinner with my brother, and dropping everything and getting up to the Sierras to take some cuttings from roses and lilacs, apples and walnuts. And yeah, I'm gonna get misty because I love that property, but I'm saving the parts of it that I can and hoping that whoever purchases it will have as many amazing family memories as we have. So yeah, quality time. And that's what that solo retreat helped me realize, that which it isn't a surprise, but I think what it helped me realize is that I have the ability to make choices around having quality time. I was chatting with the friends that we had dinner with the other night in the Monterey area, and they had recently lost their dad, and I was thinking about how fortunate I am to still have both of my parents. Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. So I will leave you with this. Count your blessings. Prioritize your quality longevity so that you can prioritize quality time. All right, I'm going to go get a tissue. I will see you all later. I will see you all later, QL crew. And DM me if you want the book information. Definitely DM me if you're planning to come to retreat in Southern Cal in November, so that I can plan around that. And I do need that information ASAP, because I have a booking conversation once I get back home next week. So as always, take care of you. Bye.